purchased raw materials, that is input. Done. B has purchased raw material, that is input. Whenever you purchase an input and you pay taxes, that tax will be credited back to you. I will repeat it again. Whenever you purchase an input and pay taxes, that tax will be remitted, or not remitted, will be credited back to you. Credited means what? Given back to you. That is input tax credit. Have you understand this? That is input tax credit. Many of you are calculating it wrongly. Please have a relook. Please have a look at it very, very carefully. You are calculating it wrongly. But the idea of input tax credit is very simple. Whatever tax you pay when you purchase raw material, government says, I will give it back to you. That is input tax credit. For example, imagine you want to manufacture this bottle. You'll purchase a steel. Will you pay tax on it? Yes. Government will give it back to you, but not immediately. What government says is follow the next step also. It's not as if they will collect it and give it like this. No. What government says is you purchase steel, pay GST. You purchase the plastic, pay GST. Now use both of them, manufacture this particular flask, sell, collect the tax, give it to me. After that, what tax you have paid on the steel as well as the plastic, I will give it back to you. Is it okay? Right? That is how the concept of ITC actually works. Input to tax credit. Now understand this. With the introduction of a VAT system, understand the next point very carefully. With the introduction of the VAT system by the state governments, states introduced VAT. Right? I'll repeat the statement. VAT is nothing but value-added tax. States, right, introduced VAT system, and with the introduction of the VAT system, we expected that the issue of cascading effect would be addressed. Right? Issue of cascading effect will not be there anymore. But there was a problem with this. Right? With the VAT system, there was one very, very big problem. What is the big problem? Follow the next points carefully. If you miss it, you will be confused. I will guarantee it. Why? First point, who is imposing VAT? Right? Let me check with you people. Who is imposing VAT? It is the state governments. You should be very clear with this. Who imposes the VAT? State government. And in the process of imposition of VAT, if ITC has to be provided, who will give it? It is the state government. Have you understand this? Why? Look at this next. Look at the next process carefully. Don't mug up the picture. Understand the concept. Now, so far, when you say state is imposing the VAT and the state government will provide the ITC, it works very well whenever the good is manufactured and consumed in the same state. Have you understand this? Whenever the good is manufactured and consumed in the same state, functions very well. No problems whatsoever. But the problem will start arising whenever the good is manufactured in one state, consumed in another state. Right? That is interstate sales. Interstate sales, there is a problem here. Why? Follow this carefully. Whenever a good is sold or moved across the border like this, you tell me, I'll ask a question by the way, right? You tell me, whenever the good will move across the border like this, which state government has the right to impose a tax on this good? Whenever it is moving across the border, state 1, state 2, which state has the right to impose the taxes? Okay, stop. Let me ask you one more question. Because whatever you people have answered is wrong. Why? Let me ask you one more question. Polity, is it over or not for you? Polity, is it over or not over? Many of you it is over, many of you it is not. For those students for whom polity is over, whenever it is interstate trade, stop, don't worry. If it is over or not over, don't worry. Whenever it is interstate trade and commerce, right, sir, polity over, right, 2 months ago, forward. Whenever it is interstate trade and commerce, who has the right to impose a tax on it? It is the central government. Remember this. Those for whom it is over, you have forgotten it, revise it. For those whom it is not over, it will be done. Don't enter into panic mode now. Fact is simple. Whenever the good moves from one state to another state, state government doesn't have the power there. Central government has the power. So why? Constitution of India. Constitution of India gives the central government the power to impose taxes whenever the goods will move from one state to another state. Why this is important? Understand this very carefully. Imagine you are a manufacturer in state A. Imagine you are a manufacturer in the state A. You will manufacture, let's say, steel. Okay, you will manufacture the steel and sell it to me. I am there in the second state. So now the good is moving from one state to another state. Who has the right to impose the taxes? Neither state 1 nor state 2. It is the central government. It is the central government. And earlier, central government had a tax by the name Central Sales Tax, CST. Follow this carefully. Earlier, Government of India had a tax by the name of Central Sales Tax, which was decided by the central government, was applicable whenever the goods are moving from one state to another state for sales purposes, that is interstate trade and commerce. But more importantly, this is very important, more importantly, whatever was the Central Sales Tax collected was given to the state where the good originated. I will repeat the statement here. Whatever was the Central Sales Tax collected was given to the state where the good originated. Now you tell me between state 1 and state 2, from which state the good is originating? Originating means producing. State 1 or state A, like state 1. Don't say A is a producer here, you'll get confused. State 1. So this is point 1. So central sales tax of 10 rupee. Understand this. Central sales tax, imagine the selling price is 100. You want to sell it at 100 rupees to me. A central sales of 10% has been imposed. It has been collected. It is given to state 1. Now I am there in the state 2. If I'm working in the state 2, is it okay if I say that I'm registered with the second state government? I'm registered in the second state government. Now I have purchased the raw material from you. I have paid 100 rupee for raw material and I've also paid a 10 rupee central sales tax. I want to earn a profit of 20 rupees. Now the problem comes. Follow the next one carefully. Right? I have paid 100 for raw material, 10 for CST and 20 for profit. I want to decide the selling price now. I want to decide selling price. Now understand this carefully. Understand this carefully. This 10 rupee, I will go and ask to the second state government. I will show the receipt to the second state government. Imagine you're the chief minister. I will come to you and say, sir, I have paid a tax of 10 rupee on my raw material. Will you please give me this as input to tax credit? Right? Will you give this as input tax credit? The chief minister says, sorry, I will not give it. I will not give it. Why? You have given a 10 rupee, but that has gone to state 1. You have given 10 rupee tax. Nobody is denying that. It has gone to state 1. Now I will take the receipt, go to the state 1, show it to the chief minister, ask the chief minister there, Sir, I've paid 10 rupee tax. Will you please give it to me in the form of ITC? Chief Minister says, sure, why not? Where are you registered? Are you registered in state 1, my state, or in the other state? You'll say, sir, I'm from another state. Now tell me, you are not registered with the state government. Will they give you ITC? Understand this. Will they give you ITC? They will not give you ITC. So neither one state or state 1 is giving, nor state 2 is giving it. So what will you do now? You will say, customer is there, come now. You will include raw material cost, 10 rupee, right? That is the tax that you have paid. You want to earn a profit of 20 rupee. Is the selling price. What is the selling price? 130 rupees. So see, right now they want to sell it to see what will happen. 130 rupees is the selling price. 10% is the tax imposed by the second state government. That will be 130 plus 13 rupees. That is 143 rupees. So now tell me, is there a cascading effect here? Simple question, right? So give an example. What do you think I'm doing? Simple question to you people. What do you think I'm doing here? What is this? Is it not an example? Hey, Baba, just observe what I'm doing. No, right? You are simply observing something else. Is there a cascading effect? Some people are saying no. Why no? Why do you think there's no cascading effect here? Right, let me at least understand what you people are not understanding. Right? What is the cascading effect, by the way? I'm actually dumbfounded by this. What is the cascading effect? Tax on a tax is a cascading effect. When you say 130 rupees, is there a tax in it? Is there a tax on it? Yes. And if you calculate 10% on 130, what is it? If it is not a cascading effect, let me know. You're calculating 10% on 130, which already includes a 10 rupee tax. Is it not a tax on tax? Of course, yes. Right? So, no, it is not tax on tax. Let me know what will you call it. Right? So, problem was very simple. We introduced the concept of VAT system, expected that it will address cascading effect. But the fact of the matter was very simple. It addressed the cascading effect whenever the trade happened within the state. But whenever the goods started moving like this from one state to another state, right, it led to cascading effect. And that is the precise reason we introduced the concept of GST. Right? Let me address this, then we'll stop the discussion. Tomorrow we'll directly start with the features of GST. Why did we introduce GST? One, we want to address cascading effect. We want to address the issue of cascading effect. Second, there were multiple indirect taxes. Right? I will give you one example. You will only say, yes, sir, this is the reason why we have introduced. Imagine you're a manufacturer. You're supposed to pay certain indirect taxes to central government, service tax, excise duty, etc. And at the state level, you'll have to pay sales tax, VAT. In fact, the sales tax was restructured as VAT. But the sales tax or even the VAT system was a problem. Why? Imagine this pen. You will manufacture and sell in state 1, VAT would be 15%. You will, right, manufacture this, sell in state 2, the tax would be 22%. State 3, 15 or 18%. So from one state to another state, tax rates changed. Simple question to you people, would you want this structure or a new structure where tax rate is only one tax is there and across India, only one rate of product will be there? Have you understand this? Would you want a structure where multiple taxes are there, different at central level, different at state level? Or that you have one more option, where this particular pen, where when you sell it in Karnataka, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, doesn't matter, only one tax and the rate of taxation across states, only one rate. Right? Obviously, you will say, sir, second method is much better. We want to address the issue of multiplicity of indirect taxes, multiple indirect taxes. And with the introduction of GST, have a look at this. With the introduction of GST, we have been able to bring in more companies under the taxation bracket. We have been able to bring in more transactions under the taxation. Now, when you bring more companies, more transaction, more, let's say, revenues under GST, you tell me, will the tax base become wider or narrower? Have you understand this? If you bring in more and more taxpayers, more companies, right, more transactions under taxation, the tax base will become wider. To widen tax base. Transportation cost, what a problem earlier, I'll pick it up tomorrow. Don't worry, I will pick it up. Please don't worry about it. And with introduction of GST, we have made it very easier for the businesses to manufacture, to produce, to sell in the market now. Right, so these are some of the reasons why we have introduced, right, why we have introduced the idea of GST. Now, before I start taking up, I know that I've not discussed the issue of transportation here. I will start with that tomorrow. Right, I'll start with that only tomorrow. Don't worry. Done. So let me take up certain questions from your side. Ease of doing business. We have discussed.